The heart of your teams. The heart of Texas. Bally Sports Southwest. The heart of the fan.
And that one is a long on Josh Jung. Nice play by Josh Jung.
And that is gone. Young just smashed one. A grand slam for Josh Jung.
You know, what a night tonight. The Rangers back home to start their final homestand of the year. And boy, do they have some good news for you tonight. Josh Jung making his return from the IL. And of course, Adolis Garcia will be back as well as we open this series with the Boston Red Sox tonight. You take a look at where the Rangers find themselves now into these final 2 weeks of the season, and they are in a great spot. Just a game and a half back of Houston in the division, only one game back in the loss column, and that's important. Meanwhile, the wild card currently holding that final wild card spot with a game advantage over Seattle, Toronto very much in reach. All right, welcome everybody. It's great to be here tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nitkowski. The Rangers start their final homestand of the year, and though it has been a bumpy ride here a little bit in the second half, they're in a great spot, and things only get that much better tonight with Jung and Garcia back.
Absolutely, the boost the Rangers needed after coming off that 3-game sweep at the hands of the Cleveland Guardians. They now get two of the biggest pieces in their lineup that have been missing here for a little while. Obviously, Josh Jung, we know, had been out a lot longer than Adolis Garcia, but get them both back in the lineup. What does it mean to this team? You can see the numbers when they're both in there and how good they have been, and really the impact, and you could feel it as soon as Adolis Garcia was out of the lineup, the difference for opposing pitchers when they were facing the Rangers. And for him now, we know, of course, he brings a ton of emotion to the table. Of course, also thinking about what happens in big spots, RBI situations, back-to-back 100-plus RBI seasons for Adolis Garcia. There's that intimidation factor that he brings to the lineup as well. So good to see him back in there tonight. Josh Jung was having a monster season before he went on the IL, and very likely was on his way to an American League Rookie of the Year award. As we take a look at the AL rookie ranks for him, batting average, second, home runs, 22 of them. Great job with the RBIs as well. The defense had been fantastic, so you get him back. There have been some real struggles for the Rangers over at third base without him, and they got to be feeling pretty good today as they get ready to start this final homestand.
Perhaps they arrive in the nick of time. Another big pickup for the Rangers with Jordan Montgomery at the trade deadline. Huge in his last start, and in the spotlight with Emily when we come back. Rangers baseball on Bally Sports is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. And by Baylor Scott & White Health, changing healthcare for the better.
Gets underway tonight as Rangers baseball is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Final homestand of the season, and we are playing meaningful baseball here at Globe Life Field in Arlington. It is the Rangers and Red Sox for a 3-game series to get this one going. That one, of course, followed by 3 against the Seattle Mariners to close out the regular season home schedule. And you couldn't ask for anything better, playing meaningful baseball in the month of September. And perhaps nobody better going tonight than Jordan Montgomery, especially considering his last outing against those Toronto Blue Jays. 7 innings pitched, giving up just 4 hits, scoreless, of course, in that outing. The Rangers could absolutely use another one just like that here tonight, CJ.
Yeah, they certainly would take it. He was incredible in Toronto when the Rangers really needed it the most, but of course they still have wins that they need to rack up, and so Jordan Montgomery will be the man on the mound tonight. Overall, 9-11 record in his 168 2/3 innings pitched so far. 17 total home runs allowed and a 44% ground ball rate for Jordan Montgomery. We take a look at the pitch arsenal. You're going to get that 2-seam fastball, changeup, curveball, 4-seamer, and cutter combination. The curveball has probably been the best pitch of the group with just a 201 batting average against, but he does have 51 strikeouts against that 2-seam fastball.
All right, well, we are just about set to get this one going tonight. Let's see the lineup that he will contend with from Boston. The Red Sox 74 and 76. Last place in the East, 19.5 back of Baltimore. Ceddanne Rafaela will lead it off in center field. Rafael Devers at third, Refsnyder in left field. It's Adam Duvall, Pablo Reyes, and Trevor Story, the DH, in the middle of the order. Dahlbeck, Urias, and Connor Wong rounded out. So what a lift tonight for the Rangers. Adolis Garcia back in there in right field. It's a big pickup defensively as well. And how about that one? To me, Josh Jung has been the big missing ingredient here in the last 2 months. And we'll see what a difference that makes tonight for this Rangers team as Montgomery gets us going with a breaking ball for strike one. Jordan Montgomery. Pretty important start tonight for him, his 30th of the year. 9 wins, 11 losses. And he gets another swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 as he goes back to the curveball.
Rafaela taking that timeout, as we've seen it so consistently on 0-2 counts, and a guy that the Red Sox really seem to like. But a good start here so far. A couple of pitches in for Jordan Montgomery.
So 0-2 the count. And Montgomery delivers. That's a little bit low, and he's really giving him a steady supply of breaking balls. Let's see if he goes back to that curve one more time. Rafaela in there today. It's his 23rd birthday tonight. The 1-2 pitch, and a fastball is up. And you knew that Rafaela would be in the lineup for Boston and in center field when Wilyer Abreu went crashing into the wall in Toronto the other day. And he's day-to-day. 2-2 pitch, and that's lifted high in the air down the right side, and Garcia has just enough room. One away.
Now, you mentioned it, the defensive part of Adolis Garcia, what he brings to the table for the Rangers. Not that easy of a play, and that knee getting tested. First batter of the game here, a long way to go. He's got to break it down before he gets to that wall, and then, of course, that little cutout that you deal with down the right field line here as well. And so for Garcia, passing that first test here with the knee defensively.
Yeah, I think we're in store for a fun night tonight as well, as we've got a crowded section 133 going out there beyond the bullpen in center field. Devers takes inside. There they are. It's become one of the real fun features here of the second half. An enthusiastic group out there. This one on the ground and through into left field. A base hit for Devers.
Well, that'll give us an opportunity to go ahead and take a look at the Ranger defense, which is presented by Rally House. In the outfield, Evan Carter, Leody Taveras, and Adolis Garcia in the infield tonight. Josh Jung over at third with Nathaniel Lowe at first. Corey Seager, Marcus Semien up the middle, and Jonah Heim is our catcher tonight.
So a man on base, Rob Refsnyder, will be the hitter here. Starting left fielder, 245 average for Refsnyder, and he'll take down the middle, strike one from Montgomery. Rangers home after a 4-3 road trip to Toronto and Cleveland. They were hoping at one point for a little better than that. Breaking ball, grounded shortstop. Seager to second one, on to first, two, double play. And a great top of the first inning for Jordan Montgomery as he posts a goose egg, and the Rangers just now coming to bat. Indeed. Red Sox, Rangers opening game of this 3-game series. Last time these two teams will face one another this season. Rangers in dire need of a win, and today this lineup looks a lot different. Marcus Semien starting it off at second base. Corey Seager at shortstop. Nathaniel Lowe at first. That's pretty standard. It's Garver DHing. Young back in there at third base. Garcia back in there in right. And then it's Heim, Taveras, and Evan Carter rounding it out.
And for the Boston Red Sox tonight, it'll be the right-hander Cutter Crawford going 6-7. Now 28 games overall, 21 of those will now be in the rotation here with the start that he is making tonight. 16 home runs allowed in his 112 innings. The pitch arsenal for Crawford, 4-seam fastball. He does throw a cutter. He's got that curveball, split, sweeper, and slider in there as well. Split has yielded just a 189 batting average against.
All right, so Semien to start it off at the right side of the plate. Marcus 1 for 4 yesterday. And he hits this ball hard down the left field line. It's gone! A rope into the seats and left. 9th time this year that Seager has started the game with a homer, and the Rangers on top 1-0.
How about Marcus Semien setting the tone here? First pitch, 4-seam fastball right down the middle. We've seen this so consistently from Marcus. He is not going to let a fastball go by, even if it's the first pitch of the game, and a hard line shot into those left field seats.
Semien's 9th leadoff homer of the year. This one pulled foul by Seager. So that's a great start to the night. And Seager pops this one up, back of third. Everybody heading out there to meet for it, and it is Reyes, the shortstop, who takes control. And that is the first out of the inning. We'll bring up Nathaniel Lowe. Lowe, second in the league in walks, 5th in on base right now at 374. He's done such a great job. Second in the league with 38 doubles. And he'll watch a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Infield back, and the pitch downstairs again. Another curveball. So Crawford spinning some stuff up there here in the first inning. 1-1.
What a unique delivery he has with the way that he takes the baseball out of the glove, and it's almost like there's a little kind of double clutch there. You see different arm swings over the years. The Rangers just saw it with Lucas Giolito. He just takes the ball straight out of the glove and almost right to his ear.
This one lined into left. That's a base hit. Lowe is aboard.
Well, we've seen this so consistently from Nathaniel Lowe, and that is his ability to go to the opposite field. That is wild to look at slow motion, by the way. That ball does not even get below his shoulder. His hand stays above the entire time, but there goes Nathaniel's thing inside a cutter from Crawford.
Yeah, Giolito's got the short arm action, but this is even abbreviated by his standards. Here's Garver, and he will take strike 1, a cutter from Cutter.
I mean, it's just your destiny, right? When your parents make that decision.
Pretty obvious. I don't know why it isn't a bigger feature of his repertoire, but strike pitch, and that one fouled away. 0-2 the count. Garver continues to DH. The Rangers had a big decision to make today, and that was with regard to Young and Garcia. They felt, I think, pretty confident that Young was ready to go. They were ready to get him back, and he certainly was pretty emphatic in pleading his case. The next question was Adolis Garcia. 2-strike pitch, and that is outside. And Garcia's case is a slightly different one in that the way Garver's been going, they did not want to activate Adolis unless he's ready to play right field, because this guy is going to keep hitting in that DH spot. And he strikes out swinging here, and Garver is the second out of the inning. And here comes Josh Young.
The third baseman, number 6, Josh Young.
It's a great sign. You see it before he turns around?
I'm happy.
I think we're all happy to see Josh Jung back in the lineup.
And there's a perfect start to his first at bat back in the lineup. Takes a pretty tempting cutter just right off the outside edge, ball one.
That's a good point, and I think it's worth noting with him, as good as Josh has been, the one area in which maybe pitchers saw that they had an opportunity to get him out was to use those breaking balls right on right, off the plate a little bit, like so many right-handed power hitters, sometimes the propensity to chase, but so far some patience here, 2 pitches in.
And he watches ball 3. Got a chance to talk to him briefly today before the ball game, and part of what Jung said, he said his biggest goal today is control the heartbeat. Doesn't want to let the adrenaline overwhelm him, and he takes a strike, 3-1. He acknowledged that the urge is going to be there, right? It would be natural for anyone to want to come back and make an immediate impact. He is really focused on just staying within himself, as they like to say. Hits this ball in the air, left field. And Refsnyder to his left makes the catch. And the inning is done. But Marcus Semien gets us off to a great start tonight. His 25th home run of the year. 9th time he's let off a game with a bomb. It's 1-0.
Top 2, Rangers leading 1-0 thanks to that solo shot to lead off this game, courtesy of the bat of Marcus Semien. And there is no question that has been a bit of a roller coaster ride over the last couple of months for this Texas Rangers team. I asked Bruce Bochy, is this the most emotionally taxing season you've been through? He said it's definitely up there. And he said, I wish I could pinpoint exactly why we are so Jekyll and Hyde, how we can go win 4 in Toronto and then get swept in Cleveland. I wish I knew the answers. I wish I knew how to figure it out. The bottom line is we are all trying as hard as we can to play as consistently as we can, night in and night out. We're going to find out what we're made of here in these final 2 weeks of the season, guys.
Yeah, that was a wild road trip in that regard. The idea of going in and sweeping the Blue Jays did not seem like that was going to be any kind of easy task, and it would have taken a minor miracle to do it, and they did it. And then to go into Cleveland, and listen, it happens. We've talked about this a lot. You have a big emotional series, you do really well, and sometimes there's a letdown. You go into Cleveland, a non-contender at that time of the year. I'm not saying that the Rangers didn't show up necessarily mentally, but it does happen in this game. It's a long season, and so now they need to bounce back here against the Red Sox. But they hadn't been really streaky until like the last month and a half or so, where all of a sudden we started to see it.
2-strike pitch from Montgomery, and that's off the plate to Adam Duvall. Duvall, the right fielder tonight for the Red Sox, 19 homers, 52 RBIs. Everyone in the Boston lineup today, right-handed batter, except Rafael Devers, the only lefty in there. And a swing and a miss. There's a strikeout from Montgomery, his first of the night.
And he does it on that really good curveball, and the curveball has looked sharp here so far this evening. I mentioned the fastball, the 2-seamer is where he goes to get most of his strikeouts, but when you look at the off-speed pitches for Jordan Montgomery, the curveball is the #1 of that group, making now 46 strikeouts on the curveball for Montgomery this season.
So Pablo Reyes, shortstop, goes after the first pitch, and a weak pop-up right side of the infield. Low is there, and just like that, 2 gone. But our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game. You talk about Jekyll and Hyde. Last 2 series, 35 runs in that series with Toronto, 6 against Cleveland, and 4 of those runs came in the 9th innings of blowouts. They hit for obviously a much higher average, hitting it out of the ballpark in Toronto. Just a dramatically different offense in the 2 series, and now a strike to Trevor Story. Story DHing tonight for Boston. Local kid from Irving. And he swings over the top of that. 0-2.
And that meant to be a knock on Trevor Story, but at one point we thought perhaps he would be the guy that the Rangers would go after, and at least certainly he made the right choice in making Corey Seager the guy who they identified as their #1 shortstop target. he got closer and closer to free agency, we really had wondered about Trevor Story. You can see the numbers there, and he's dealt with injuries and see more second base and then shortstop.
Montgomery's 0-2, and Story strikes out swinging. A 1-2-3 second inning for Montgomery. Only 8 pitches needed. Rangers have the early 1-0 lead, and they have El Bombi coming to the plate when we return. Brought to you by Indeed. The world can work better. All right, 1-0. Rangers have the early lead here tonight. Opening game of this series with the Boston Red Sox. And now excited to welcome back Adolis Garcia to lead it off.
He showed you some of the BP that he took today before the game, and literally a game time decision here for Adolis Garcia. We got closer and closer to game time, and we saw one line up, and then we see the change with him in it. Obviously that batting practice session went well today for him.
Off that 10-day injured list, and he goes after the first pitch. Fouls it away. Had a right patellar tendon strain on September 18th. Left the game trying to take a home run away from Houston Astros. And he fouls that one off 0-2. And we were, when it happened, we were trying to figure out exactly what happened. Came down gingerly. Unfortunately, only 10 days missed. When he chases strike 3, Garcia carved up to start the second inning. I'll bring up Jonah Heim.
Well, you mentioned it earlier with Josh Young and how he was trying to control that heartbeat. No doubt that Garcia was going through a somewhat similar situation. That first at bat, we saw him chase the slider outside of the strike zone, and then one up above the strike zone. We know how badly he wanted to be back in the lineup and how badly he wants to do damage again.
And now Jonah Heim, and he'll take low, ball 1. Heim batting from the left side. Did not play yesterday, got the day off. He should feel pretty fresh today. He had a great road trip. Boy, he was huge in Toronto. Couple of homers, drove in 8 runs on the road trip. And a swing and a miss. 2-2. Heim has 85 RBIs this year. 81 of them have come while he was in the lineup as catcher, and that's most in baseball among catchers. He has, I think, arguably been the best hitting catcher in the game. I mean, you're talking about doubles, hits, total bases, extra base hits, all those most among catchers. 3-1 pitch, and he hits this one on the ground. Down to first. Routine play for Dolbach, and Heim retired. We'll slide over a moment here for Baylor's Scott and White Health.
Doc says you're good.
Oh, 2 gone. Here is Taveras, another switch hitter, and he'll take a breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike. C.B. Buckner, our plate umpire tonight, and that one waved at and missed. C.B. he's been at it a while.
He sure has, and the rest of the umpires that I once worked with,
Yeah.
I realized, yeah, they've been doing it for a really, really long time. And C.B. Buckner, certainly one of the more respected umpires around the game.
0-2, and that's high. Crawford letting that one go just a little bit, 94 miles per hour, but even the follow through rather looked a little wild. Pitch on the way to Taveras, and he swings and misses a strikeout. Completes a 1-2-3 inning for Crawford. So both starters settling down a little bit. We head to the 3rd inning, 1-0. the season, but you can still stream every out-of-market Major League game this year and all minor league games as well. Visit MLB.tv for all the details. Bottom third of the order here for Boston. Dalbec, Urias, and Connor Wong, the batters. Real good job by Montgomery last inning, and he fires that one right in there for a strike to Dalbec. Just the 12th game for the Red Sox first baseman. Not a lot to work with in terms of statistics for him. He spent the better part of the year at AAA Worcester. He was just called up on Saturday. 114 games at Worcester, hit .269.
You don't want to say it like a native?
Worcester?
It's a fun one.
Not there, Worcester. 0-2.
Well, at one point he had a real opportunity to kind of be the guy. They gave him some chances over at first base, also over at third at times, corner infielder. And then once Tristan Casas got his opportunity last year and then made the team this year, he kind of ran with it, and that pushed Bobby Dalbec out.
There's a 2-strike pitch, and this one lined by first into right field, a base hit. Second hit of the night for Boston.
Time now for our AT&T Fiber fast pitch, and we take a look at Jordan Montgomery and the usage on the two-seam fastball. He has had some really good success with it going back to August 15th, just a 182 batting average against. How about the slugging of just 212 for him? And you can see the comparisons there to league average. The two-seam fastball is the pitch that he throws the most by a pretty wide margin, and it's been a good one for him, especially lately.
Breaking ball right in there to Urias. Good curveball. So now to the first 8 batters that Montgomery has faced tonight, he's jumped ahead with strike 1 and 7 of them. So that is a really good ratio. 1-strike pitch here, and he's ahead 0-2. Pulled the string on him with that changeup.
We just talked about the two-seam fastball, the numbers against the changeup pairs really well because those pitches look the same. Obviously a big difference in speed, on average 9-10 miles an hour from Jordan Montgomery, and to use it against the right-handed hitters especially, it has been a very effective pitch for him.
I'm trying for his 3rd strikeout of the night. Pitch on the way, and Urias accommodates him. A strikeout swinging, 1 away.
He did not look comfortable on that pitch at all, and once again for Jordan Montgomery, it's the changeup. And there's a good look at it. You can see it. It is in the strike zone nearly the entire way, and that little bit of fade at the very end as it falls out generates the swing and miss.
Connor Wong now, 9th place hitter. And he'll watch that one bounce up to the plate. Wong 245 at bat, or rather a batting average with 9 home runs this year. I was just kind of picking over the numbers today with the guys in this Red Sox lineup. There aren't many who have played like the equivalent of a half season this year in this lineup, with injuries, call-ups, and that sort of thing. He's one of them, though. And this one fouled down the right side, out of play by Wong. 1-1 the count. I think he's played 115 games coming in. Then you got Rafael Devers, who's played extensively this year. Other than that, you got a lot of guys who just really don't have a whole lot of big league games logged this season. It's been a funky year for the Red Sox. Here's the 1-1, and this is hit sharply down to third, and Young has it. Thought about a double up, but Dalbec gets back in there in time. And Young makes his first defensive play, and nicely done, and it feels good, I'm sure, for him.
No doubt, and maybe just a little bit high on the energy here, thinking he had an opportunity for the double play. Perhaps that is what he was kind of laughing about. You certainly appreciate the aggressiveness, but there's really not much of a chance at all to double up Bobby Dalbec. He's just happy to be out there. He could hold up one of those I'm happy signs.
I think so. Big breaking ball and a swing and a miss by Rafaela. Ceddanne Rafaela, and he's their leadoff man tonight. This is just his 19th game. Red Sox have used 56 players. And there's a swing and a miss at a pitch that didn't even make it to the plate. 0-2 the count.
He is one of the guys that you mentioned. Not a lot of playing time so far this year. Just his 10th start, but a pretty high chase rate. And we got to see it on that last one. 41% chase rate for Rafaela so far this season.
Dahlbeck leads the 0-2 pitch, and that's in the dirt. Montgomery thought he'd see if he'd chase another curveball. Not that time. That was a pitch, though, was working for him in Toronto as well. The curve has been pretty good for Montgomery. Has 3 strikeouts so far tonight. He's faced 1 over the minimum. And this one popped up. Stays 1-2. Boston comes in 2 games under 500. And that's really not horrible when you think about it. Roughly a 500 team for the year. But I think in New England, it's been seen as pretty much a disastrous season. They're in last place, nearly 20 games back of Baltimore. The 1-2. A swing and a miss. Strikeout of Rafaela. And that'll do it in the third. 4 strikeouts early on here for Jordan Montgomery. The lefty is cruising. And the rookie, Evan Carter, leads it off.
Hood comes at you early tonight, and we find Chris Stratton under the hood. Celebrity he'd like to have lunch with, Steph Curry. Superpower he wishes he had, the ability to teleport. It's a very popular one in the clubhouse. And his favorite movie, Inception. Can't say that I've seen Inception, guys. Am I missing out?
Same. I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
I think I have seen it, or part of it.
Clearly it made a lasting impression on you, Dave.
Well, here's the deal. If it's the movie that I think I saw, it seemed like it was pretty good. How about that?
Ringing endorsement from Dave
2010? Is that old?
2010, you say?
Yeah.
I probably didn't see it. But I saw a cool movie once. Here's a 1-1. Here's a swing and a miss, strike 2. All I know is, like, normally those types of movies don't do it for me.
Yeah.
When it's a little too futuristic, I just don't. I'm like, come on, man. I can't suspend reality that far. But this summer, my family was watching something, and I saw the second half of it. It was kind of cool. That's as close. That's all I got for you. 2-2 to Evan Carter. That's so helpful. I can't believe I've been holding back on all these movie reviews. Carter at 280. A home run and 3 driven in. He goes after strike 3. That is the 4th strikeout now tonight for Crawford.
Yeah, and for Cutter Crawford, he's doing a really nice job using the elevated fastball here all of a sudden now with the last 3 strikeouts that he has had. How about the numbers against it? Just 172 is the batting average against that four-seam fastball. He doesn't throw particularly hard. You can see how he has elevated it. Did it to Garcia, did it to Taveras, and now just did it to Evan Carter.
And here's Simeon with his 25th home run of the year. Back of the first inning. That right now has been the offense in the game. It's early. One and one the count.
So you may be asking yourself, you see Cutter Crawford sitting at 93, 94, and say, how is he getting that by, guys? He's got one of the better spin rates in the game, 7th highest in Major League Baseball at nearly 2,500 RPMs, and you can see him throwing it up there with intent. And to me, that's, again, we talk about it a lot, but a fascinating part of today's game. And these guys, I throw 93. You would have been told a decade ago, keep that ball down. You do not want to be throwing that near the top of the zone at just 93. But now, of course, we have the data on the spin wall. That means it plays up really well. It's got good carry to it, and you can actually get it by big league hitters.
Time with the sweeper way up, 3-2. Well, his payoff pitch, and Marcus fouls that one away.
We'll say, watching him pitch with that short arm swing that we were talking about, like I can feel it in my own shoulder, like it hurts to watch a little bit.
It certainly does not look real natural. 3-2. And this swing and a miss. He rushes it right past Marcus. It's 3 straight strikeouts now for Crawford. We'll take a look now at our Bounty quick stats. When you look at the highest single season batting average in Rangers history, there's Seager, just 1 point back of Michael Young's 338. Set a little over a decade ago. Franco 341. I'd say that's within reach.
Sure, he was what, 48 that year? He was not.
Corey, for the first time maybe this year, it seems like he's in a little a rough patch. He's 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday. He's hitless now in his last 9 at-bats. And I don't think we've seen anything even close to that this year.
No, but I'll say this. I don't feel like, you see when a guy's struggling a little bit, it doesn't look like he's necessarily lost or his approach has changed. The one thing with Corey Seager is we know he is going to be aggressive. It is an approach that works really well for him. Even they're asking kind of C.B. Buckner whether or not that pitch was a strike, but I don't even know if Corey Seager cares that much. Like, we show you the box, you know what the strike zone is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's his strike zone for him and where he thinks he can do damage. By the way, Julio Franco was 32 that year.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
The year I played with him, he was 45.
Wow.
In incredible shape in 2004. He continued his career until 2007 at 48 years old.
Seager stays alive, 2-2. Carter and Semien both struck out. Seager doing some battle here with Cutter Crawford, the 2-2 pitch to him, and a bouncer up the middle. But the shortstop Reyes is on top of it. And it's a 1-2-3 third inning. So the fourth inning coming up. Rangers still lead 1-0.
Okay, time now for our TXU Energy Power Stats and taking a look at the Red Sox. Rafael Devers in particular, he's having himself a really nice September with a .350 batting average, OPS over 1100. The Red Sox, though, not so much. As a team, .691 has been that OPS. That is 25th in Major League Baseball. But one of the things we heard about and have seen with Devers here lately is his ability to go to the opposite field, and he did it in his first at-bat. He took a first pitch from Jordan Montgomery. He had an opposite field base hit. He's hit a couple of balls out of the ballpark to the opposite field lately. We talk about that often. When your swing gets going right, you're using the entire field. And Devers has been lately.
Jumps ahead here, 2-0. It's a great hitter. Good third baseman. He takes high. 3 balls and no strikes. As I mentioned earlier, the only left-hander in the lineup for Boston today. And he's now the first to see a 3-ball count against Montgomery, who's been very efficient to this point. That one finds inside corner. 3-1. Montgomery 9 wins, 11 losses, a .347 ERA. And that's in his time combined with St. Louis and now the Rangers. And this ball is ripped over first. That's a base hit into right. Devers will turn but hold. And the Red Sox have a leadoff single.
And you can see it. Devers is just locked in right now. This is a changeup from Jordan Montgomery and elevated. He does not want that pitch up there intentionally. He's trying to get that ball down, and it's surprising they would even want to go in with the changeup. But again, when you have a guy that's red hot, sometimes you're going to try some things that maybe are unconventional, but even that couldn't fool Rafael Devers.
Rob Refsnyder. Man, he couldn't stop himself. That's strike one. He hit into a double play in the first. 0 for 1.
It's a 20th double play that Jordan Montgomery has got behind him this season. He does a nice job with that two-seam fastball changeup combination to generate those ground balls.
There's a good curveball. 0-2 the count. Refsnyder, who was a Ranger back in 2020. Played in 15 games that year in a Rangers uniform. Oh-2, runner goes in the dirt and no play for Heim. So Rafael Devers with his 4th stolen base of the year.
And this to me was probably more about trying to stay out of the double play. It's not an easy thing to do to steal off of Jordan Montgomery as a lefty, and you could even see the hesitation there from Devers, and he's all smiles with his 4th stolen base of the season. A little belly flop into second base. I think that was part of the laughing going on between him and Marcus Semien.
1-2. Yeah, swing and a miss. Big strikeout of Refsnyder. 1 away.
A good use once again of the changeup here by Jordan Montgomery off the plate the entire time, and Refsnyder looked like he was almost just trying to keep the at bat alive and foul that ball off as he's way out front.
Brings up Adam Duvall, who struck out in the 2nd inning. And he hits this one sharply to shortstop. And that's the only out the Rangers will get, a low liner. Seager was looking to try and double off Devers, but
they are making
anybody to throw to.
They are making Devers work on the bases right now. Marcus Semien helping him up. We'll take a look at this pitch. It was a two-seam fastball and turned around at 108 miles an hour, but Corey Seager was in the right spot. I think Rafael Devers has had about enough of running the bases. You could see him huffing and puffing over there as he was diving back into second.
So it's Pablo Reyes now, and breaking ball in the dirt gets away. Devers will move to third base. It should be a wild pitch.
Yeah, no doubt. This is the curveball here from Jordan Montgomery. You're going to see it bounce in front of Jonah Heim and then stay down and get underneath him. And I think he was expecting a little bit of a higher bounce and didn't get it.
So Devers now just 90 feet away. They look to go inside on Reyes. They do, and perfectly plays for a strike. Yeah. And Reyes would argue otherwise. He's been swinging it pretty well here lately. Batting 5th tonight. The 1-1. And that's a beauty. Strike 2 call. Now the lefty has 5 strikeouts so far. First time tonight he's had to deal with a runner in scoring position. Devers down the line, and that's a little short of the plate. 2-2.
So Reyes pretty animated up there, right? He took that fastball that we thought it was borderline, called a strike, and shaking his head no. Then he took a fastball down the middle, shook his head yes. Now this one here, he lays off of it and is looking out at Jordan Montgomery, and get a few more shakes there as he steps out of the box. A lot of yeses, a lot of nos.
2-2. Well, that's inside, full count.
It's kind of interesting, right? For a guy who is, I think, 30 years old now. Yeah, just turned 30 here on September 5th. Bounced around a little bit. Not necessarily known for his bat, but it's an interesting plate appearance for sure.
Montgomery's payoff and a chopper third base. Young has time and throws him out. The inning is done. Red Sox leave a man at third base. Josh Young has made a couple of nice defensive plays. He'll be due up third in the bottom of the inning.
Young returning tonight from the injured list. A couple of plays already at third, and you saw the big smile on his face out there in the field. And I said in the pregame show, and I told him before the game, you are flat grumpy when you are not playing. So to see him smiling at this point in time is a welcome sight, and something that he doesn't deny. Not happy when he's not on the line.
Well, I think the other thing too, you saw that last play to end the inning. I mean, he wound up to throw that thing and tried to throw it about 150 miles an hour across the diamond. Josh Young loves baseball. We know that, and he's certainly very happy to be back out there. But yeah, as Emily mentioned, sometimes the opposite can be true. When you love the game as much as Josh does and then you don't get to play it, you might be a little bit miserable to be around, understandably so.
Garver the batter, and he takes right down the middle for strike one. Rich struck out in the first inning. Rangers haven't had a base runner since the first inning, and this one lifted out into right. Duvall is right there, 2 away. So it's a nice start. The Semien leadoff homer. Lowe had the 1-out base hit, but since then Cutter Crawford has really locked it down here. 1-0 our score in the fourth.
He's done a nice job inducing some pretty weak contact and getting ready to throw just his 50th pitch of the night.
Josh Young goes after the first pitch, rolls it to second base. Urias will throw him out, and a 4-pitch fourth inning for Cutter Crawford. So that really helps his case. It's still 1-0. Welcome to the 5th inning tonight, presented by Audi. It's the very beginning of a critical homestand for the Rangers. A 3-game series with Boston, Seattle to follow this weekend. And then the Rangers will wrap up the regular season on the road. Very much in a playoff position, currently holding the final wild card spot in the American League. Jordan Montgomery has pitched well so far tonight, and a breaking ball way down and missed by Trevor Story.
Saw a pretty neat note on Trevor Story. He talked about when he was with the Colorado Rockies how Troy Tulowitzki would hold a middle infielders camp in the offseason for all the big prospects in the Colorado Rockies organization, and now he is wanting to take that tradition to Boston and kind of lead it himself now. Think about being a young middle infielder in the Boston Red Sox organization, getting a chance in the offseason to work out, kind of go through a bunch of different things with a guy like Trevor Story. No doubt it was cool for him when Tulo did it when he was a Rocky.
Line drive out to right field. And he is the first out here in the 5th inning. Slide over for Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
Fun, games, relaxation, or excitement. We've got all your bases covered at Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
And 1 out. Bobby Dahlbeck on a base hit in the 3rd inning. And first pitch to him. That one right in there for a strike. Just does catch a corner. First pitch changeup to Dahlbeck. This one is a little bit low, 1-1. Montgomery, we've talked a little bit about the strikeouts tonight, 5 of those. Man, he's getting a lot of swing and miss. Seems like that's been a big part of the equation for him. The curveball's been really good for him that way. 1-1.
He's done a great job inducing those swings and misses to outside of the strike zone, right? And in order to make that work, you have got to get ahead of hitters, and he's done a really nice job of that. You mentioned it earlier, the first pitch strikes that we have seen. You get these hitters in swing mode, and then you can start using that curveball and changeup outside of the zone.
2-2. Heim gives him the signals. Here's the 2-2 inside. Well, Montgomery pitched a beauty when we were up in Toronto. Rangers swept the Blue Jays in a 4-game series north of the border. 3-2. And this one lined out to right field. Garcia runs after it, but he'll have to take it off the wall. Dahlbeck going for 2. Here comes a throw, and it's over the head of Seager at second base. So Dahlbeck with a 1-out double.
And really taking advantage of his opportunity. You mentioned it. He was in AAA all year. Tristan Casas goes on the IL, and changeup here away and slightly elevated, and Bobby Dahlbeck's got his second hit of this game. If I'm not mistaken, the first hit was also to the opposite field. You had that base hit was a ground ball in between Nathaniel and Marcus.
So he's out there for Urias. And there's that curveball again for strike 1. Urias struck out in the 3rd. Last inning, the Red Sox got Devers on with a base hit. He stole second. They went 0 for 3 though with runners in scoring position. That's where they are tonight. They really struggled against Toronto. They were just 3 for 33 in that series with runners in scoring position. And there is strike 2 on Urias.
The body language here from Urias. The first one was absolutely a strike. That second one might have been close, but still a pretty good one. 2-seam fastball that comes back and catches the inside corner. And you have boys, I have boys. We've all seen that body language before. What do you mean we got to go to church?
2-strike pitch in the dirt.
Which is that. I mean, listen, it was all of us as a kid, right?
Yep.
Mom takes you to the department store. Oh my God, the most boring place on earth.
Montgomery shooting for another strikeout, and he just missed it. A little bit in there on Urias.
And a good call by C.B. Buckner, but still a really good pitch from Jordan Montgomery. And what that does now, if he chooses to do so, it really does open up the outside part of the plate if he wants to go back to that changeup that has been good tonight. Maybe use the curveball for a potential chase, but just because it was called a strike does not mean that pitch doesn't serve a purpose.
There's a ground ball up the middle, base hit for Urias. Dahlbeck around third. He'll score without a throw. So the RBI single by Urias makes it a 1-1 game in the 5th.
Well, Montgomery did go to the changeup once again, but this one elevated, and this has happened now twice in this inning. And he went out there and he hooked it. He didn't necessarily hit it all that hard, but he hit it in a good spot. But 2 elevated changeups, one to Dahlbeck, and now one here to Urias has led to a run for the Red Sox.
So Mike Maddox out there to have a quick word. Really been pretty smooth sailing so far tonight for Montgomery, as this at bat with Connor Wong will wrap up 2 trips through the lineup. But after the run allowed, Maddox takes the opportunity here, maybe just to give him a breather.
You took note of some of the swing and miss that we have seen from Jordan Montgomery tonight. 15 swings and misses. His high with the Rangers so far since coming over from the Cardinals has been 16. He's done that twice, and that's actually his season high for Jordan Montgomery. As we take a look at some of these numbers here in time through the order, the batting average against with Connor Wong up, the 9-hole hitter. And the order will get turned over for a third time when Rafaela comes up.
Montgomery's first offering. Good breaking ball in there for a strike. Boy, he's let off with that quite a bit here. And he's been able to throw it for a strike at will, it seems like. Wong, meanwhile, as you see there, 0 for his last 16. A bit of a struggle for him, and he'll take a fastball for a strike. 0-2. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Tomorrow, Nathan Eovaldi, the former Red Sox, against Tanner Houck. Gray will have the start in the day game on Wednesday. Brian Bayo will go for Boston, the 0-2. And that just missed.
Yeah, that was a good one, and you wonder if it wasn't an 0-2 count would Jordan Montgomery get this call. And while umpires don't think that way, I do believe they fall into habits sometimes. Two-seam fastball, tried to get it to come back and catch that inside corner. In fact, it did.
Yeah, I say, that looks like that did a pretty good job of getting back in there. Check in over there on Urias.
He doesn't run a lot, Urias. No stolen bases this year, just 9 for 15 in his career. However, it's not a bad idea if you think you can get a read. We know you mentioned it, the curveball that we've seen from Montgomery, one of those pitches that he uses for strikeouts, and so perhaps one in the dirt or just trying to put a runner in motion to stay out of a double play.
1-2. Not going. And a bouncer at third base, but hit slowly. Young will fire to first just in time, and they barely get Wong. Young didn't have any room to mess around, and he had to put a little something on that one.
Yeah, and he certainly did. Strong throw here as he comes and gets this high chopper. He gets the good hop here and everything he has in that really solid arm for Josh Young to retire Wong.
So 2 gone. Urias now at second base. And now we're ready for the third time through here. Rafaela will be the batter. He's 0 for 2. He was flied out and struck out, and he shows bunt. That should be strike 1. Did he get a piece of that? I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, it looked like he went back up, and I thought it caught Rafaela in the helmet. Is that what you were asking?
No, I couldn't even tell if he fouled it off.
Oh, I thought he fouled it down and it bounced up.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count.
Let's see what happened on this bunt attempt with a runner at second and 2 outs. Two-seam fastball, yeah, straight down, and hit him or not on the way back up.
Down and then got Buckner in the shoulder. Ball's 2 strikes. Here it comes, and he won't chase it. Behind keeps it close enough that Urias holds second base.
I think you can certainly take a couple of shots at this, whether it's the curveball or the changeup off the plate. The only thing again to keep in mind, we talked about Rafaela and how much he chases, but with Jordan Montgomery, he has elevated a couple of those changeups in this inning. And so if he can make the adjustment, keep it down, keep it off the plate, he can get that chase in either a swing and miss or recontact.
All right, here we go. And that's inside. Two and two. Well, this has been a little bit bigger workload in this 5th inning for Montgomery. This will be his 23rd pitch now of the inning. And it's a little bit high, so full count. Folks getting a little restless here. Rafaela made his big league debut on August 28th. And he's been off and running. He's done a nice job, although today hitless in 2 tries. 3-2 pitch and a swing and a foul tip. He just does stay alive.
That's a good curveball in that count, 3-2. Nothing more frustrating when you're having an inning like this where it starts to get a little bit long. You execute a great pitch. When you think you may have been able to finish the inning, the hitter fouls it off.
Well, rookie putting up a pretty good fight here in the 5th inning. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat to Rafaela. And there it is, a swing and a fly ball, right field. Garcia runs underneath it and makes the catch. The inning is done. So the Red Sox get the run back and tie it up. Rangers have not had a hit since the 1st inning, but El Bombi will lead it off when we come here for the bottom of the 5th inning. Presented by Audi. Rangers and Red Sox, a 1-1 game. Oh yeah, they love Adolis Garcia. And a rowdy group.
That's amazing.
Out in center field. And here is Adolis. Back for the first time off that injured list today. He struck out in the 2nd inning. And Crawford's first offering, this one's bounced foul for a strike.
So I think he's seen 4 pitches tonight. He swung at all 4 of them.
Yep.
And for Adolis Garcia, no doubt excited to be back, but ultra aggressive here early on. But that's his game.
Make it 5 for 5 and a pop up near first base, and Dahlbeck puts it away. I agree with you on that. I will say, Adolis, that's been a bit of an issue in the 2nd half. It's just, we saw in the 1st half he was much more selective, seemed a little more disciplined, and the numbers piled up. In the 2nd half, he just got a little more swing happy, it seemed, and was more liable to chase, and has not been as good. Jonah Heim fouls off strike 1.
Yeah, and you wonder too, right? And thinking about the state of the team a little bit, you know how much of a team guy he is, big moments, how good he is, and maybe feeling just a little bit of that extra pressure, wanting to do something big, especially now with the game being tied.
I will say this too, though, about him, right? You mentioned the team guy that Garcia is. There's something about his personality and energy and his interest in his teammates that is really infectious, and the guys love him, and they have ever since he became a Ranger. So I think there is a little bit of an emotional lift having him back. The 2-1 fouled away. Maybe gets a little bit out of his system here tonight and get back to that tighter approach again, maybe starting tomorrow. But the Rangers, they don't have a lot of time to mess around with 13 games remaining, including tonight. One to one our score. Jonah grounded out in the 2nd inning. And Crawford comes after him. This one is fouled back.
Good to see Jonah putting somewhat of a lengthy at bat together. Cutter Crawford had gotten into a pretty good groove, and the pitch count was down. Was it just 4 pitches, you said, last inning? He got his first out in this inning on 2. And so Jonah putting up a little bit more of a fight here against them. Crawford.
That's one of the things he's been pretty good at doing this year too. Spoiling good pitches like that, extending at bats, and I feel like when we see Jonah get into these kind of battles more and more, puts himself in a great position to hit, and he can do damage. The 2-2. Oh, that's ball 3. Payoff for this one, lined to second base. Rodriguez falls it in. So this Saturday, the first 15,000 fans are going to get an Adolis Garcia bobblehead presented by TXU. Mariners in town. What a huge series that's going to be. You can get your tickets right now at Rangers.com. There are few seats remaining. I should warn you, less than 3,000 remain available for Saturday's game. Tavares fouls off strike 1.
So take a look at Cutter Crawford now, 4 2/3 into this outing. He's gone 3 straight starts in which he has not completed 5 innings. And it's been a problem for him. You can see about 4.5 innings per start there. It's the second lowest in Major League Baseball. Now, he had been in the bullpen for a little while earlier this season, 8 games out of the pen, but even as a starter, he really hasn't been able to go very deep. But the pitch count is in good shape. 62 right now. It took him 93 pitches to get through 4 2/3 last time. And the outing before that, he threw 96 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. And so far efficient here tonight against the Rangers.
A little bit off the plate on Taveras, 1 and 2. Cora talked a little bit about the idea of maybe seeing if they can get just a bit more out of some of these guys, specifically Crawford, where they've made that decision recently to take him out. Let's say if he gets to 90 pitches, there's a swing and a miss. He strikes out Taveras. This time he'd like to see him go a little bit deeper. The way he's throwing tonight, it certainly seems as if he could. He hasn't allowed a base runner since the first.
At Jordan Montgomery, and he's throwing the ball very well here tonight for the Rangers. Dave mentioned it early on. The swing and misses have been up here for Jordan, using that curveball changeup especially to get some of those swings and misses. And so we have seen a good version of Jordan Montgomery now here in back-to-back starts. He was excellent against the Toronto Blue Jays when the Rangers really needed him to be. And so far here tonight, 5 innings, 5 punch-outs, no walks for the big left-hander.
Third time through the order, and Devers has managed to base hit his first 2 trips around. Well, he's been one of the harder outs tonight for Montgomery. It'll be Devers, Refsnyder, and Duvall. 6th inning, and this will be just the 75th pitch of the night for Montgomery. He's a little bit up with it, 1 and 1.
You got to be careful here. 3rd time through, Devers has had a couple of really nice swings against Jordan Montgomery so far. Hit to the opposite field, a hit to the pull side. And you get later in a tight game like this, you want to make sure you're making some good pitches. That was a good one right there. A changeup, left on left from Montgomery.
He's ahead of ball and 2 strikes. And he gets strike 3 called. Devers knew it. He's down looking, 1 away in the 6th.
That's a really, really impressive combination from Jordan Montgomery. He threw a changeup in this exact same spot, comes back with paint, 2-seam fastball. You see a little bit of movement here at the end. You can't throw it in a better spot.
So Rob Refsnyder now 0 for 2. And he bounces it third base, charging in Young. He'll throw out Refsnyder. Quickly 2 gone in the 6th. We have time now for Jack in the Box.
My classic sourdough Jack. It's named after your 2 favorite things, sourdough and me. Only at Jack.
All right, Adam Duvall. He has struck out and lined out today. Duvall, the cleanup man for Boston, and he swings right through strike 1. A little bit low. Duvall, an 11th round pick by San Francisco back in 2010. He came up with the Giants 3 years later, but made a name with the Reds, Atlanta. Brief stop in Miami. There's a swing and a miss. 1 and 2 on Duvall. This is his first year with the Red Sox. There's some enthusiasm in the building today, especially out there in center field behind the Rangers bullpen looking for Montgomery's 7th strikeout of the night. Here's the 1-2, and that's low. Two more games in this series with Boston. Seattle for 3 over the weekend. The home season will be done. Ideally, the next home games for the Rangers would then be postseason games. They want it in, the 2-2. And that's a beauty. Got him looking. Duvall goes down on strikes. 7th strikeout tonight for Montgomery.
And how about the 2 strikeouts in this inning, both looking and both on fastballs? We had highlighted the off-speed pitches for Jordan Montgomery tonight, but how about a good-looking front door 2-seam fastball to retire?
Is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts and by your local DFW Kubota dealers. Together, we do more. All right, a 1-1 game, and Evan Carter starts things off here in the 6th inning. The 21-year-old rookie struck out his first time up in the 3rd, 0 for 1. And this ball's hit hard out to the alley right field. That gets down, base hit up against the wall, and Rafaela's down. Carter around second. He heads for 3rd. A stand-up triple for Evan Carter.
You see the hands go up, and he makes sure that he stays on 3rd base. So officially, I believe, his first triple. But unbelievable for Evan Carter. He gets a nice break here. This ball in the gap. And I got to tell you, I mean, even if you don't see necessarily anybody fall down in the outfield, it might have been a triple anyway with the great speed. You're thinking it right away. It's an automatic double, but it doesn't hurt that Rafaela slides on the outfield dirt there on the warning track. And Evan Carter with a big smile as he says, let's stay on the bag and record that triple.
Now, he had a triple briefly, it seemed anyway, when we were in Cleveland this weekend, but popped up off the bag, and upon review was called out. That was his first double. This his first triple.
Yeah, I'm wondering about shoes here. And it looks like he may have plastics on, which don't necessarily bode well in that situation. Some guys like to wear the plastics on the turf, but when you get onto that dirt like that, especially going full speed, they're not going to dig in nearly as well as metal spikes would in that spot.
Just had this conversation with Travis Jankowski yesterday about the home turf here. Infield in. And that's outside. We had just played in Toronto, of course, last week. And then heading home for this homestand. And Jankowski and some of the guys that we talked about the turf here at home. There's a hard ground ball up the middle. Semien gets Carter home. And the Rangers back in front 2-1. 90th RBI, rather 91st of the year for Semien.
And this is on a cutter, and it's not a bad one. You can see it down and away, but Marcus Semien in this spot, he's got the infield in. He is not looking necessarily to do big damage. He's trying to figure out how do I get Evan Carter in, and so he takes that cutter down and away right back up the middle for an RBI single.
Now a chance of MVP for Seager. And he goes after the first pitch down the right field line into the corner, and it's caught just in front of the wall. Heading back to first, Semien with a really good hustle to get back there. 1 away.
And this one looked like it had a chance off the bat. Unfortunately, fell a little bit short. Cutter once again. It's in off the plate. It's kind of incredible that Corey Seager can keep this ball fair and give himself a chance at an extra base hit, but that is a nice play in right field by Duvall, who's got a good arm and quickly gets this ball back in, and Marcus Semien just barely beats it.
Connor Wong out to the mound, and most of the infield coming in as well now with Nathaniel Lowe coming up.
No action right in the bullpen, I don't believe, for the Red Sox, so this is really about strategy right now and not about buying time for anybody to warm up. What was Jankowski saying about the turf here?
So Travis, they talked about how, and it's true of a lot of turfs, that when you make your initial move to go, let's say, back on a ball or to your right or left, when you twist and you're wearing metal cleats, on turf, sometimes it holds a little too much. It could be hard on your hips, your knees, your back. But if you wear the molded spikes, as we're seeing tonight from Raviella, you can't hold yourself on the warning track, and you'll go rear over tea kettle, as they say. Here's Nathaniel Lowe, and he'll take a breaking ball for a strike. But what they've found is they filed down the metal cleats. Just file them down a little bit, take a little bit of the length off of them, gives them a little more forgiveness on the turf part, and yet allows them to hold on the warning track. And that seems to have worked out well. That's Low, 1-1.
Is that what Ty Cobb used to do?
I think he's sharpening.
Oh, sharpening.
Yeah.
Filing.
He was doing other things with his cleats. So for Travis, that's worked. And I think for a number of the guys, that's been really helpful in the outfield. 1-1. And that's fouled away. Strike 2. Lowe has a base hit tonight in 2 tries.
I wonder if the guys would prefer to almost have, for the warning track, just a brown turf.
Well, I mean, I guess that could be the solution, right? There's strike 3 called. Lowe goes down looking. It's funny you bring that up, though, because the reason I had the conversation with Travis was in Cleveland was because in Cleveland they have the grass infield, outfield, and then they have the turf warning tracks.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Is it the recycled rubber like that part, or no? Is it?
Well, I mean, you mean is the filler?
Yeah, or is it an actual turf? Is it turf, or like remember, like when Baltimore first opened their ballpark, it was.
It's like this turf, but brown.
Yeah,
right.
You know. But you remember, actually, it was a Fox game I was calling. Mike Napoli hit a ground rule double in Cleveland in left field.
Over that 20-foot wall?
Yeah, because they used to have rubber there in the outfield.
Yeah.
And he hit a high fly ball that the left fielder lost in the lights, and it hit and it bounced over the wall, which was incredible. Had to be the highest book rule double in baseball history.
Because that wall is I believe it's 19 feet. And
but that wouldn't happen with the changes they've made. I didn't realize that they use turf out there now.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like brown carpet, but it's got those rubbery pellets and stuff in there, so they probably would still get a pretty good bounce off of it. 1-2 on Mitch Garver. Well, the Rangers have taken the lead 2-1 in this 6th inning. And this has turned into a bit of a pitcher's duel here tonight. Well, did Garver hold up? He did. Keeps the count at 2-2. Ben May, our umpire, down there at first.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Marcus try to take second base here. Get himself in scoring position with a couple of outs. 6 stolen bases against Crawford this year. He's done a pretty good job holding runners.
Garver stays alive. He has struck out and flied out. Garver, one of the guys who struggled a little bit in Cleveland. In fact, he's now just 1 hit in his last 17 at bats. He slowed down a little bit here recently. The 2-2 is high. Full count. Josh Young, perhaps a big opportunity awaiting the rookie here in the 6th inning if Garver can find his way on. 4th 3-ball count tonight for Cutter Crawford. And the pitch, runner goes. There's a foul ball. Simeon will have to return. Marcus with 14 stolen bases this year, but he'll be off and going again on a 3-2. Here it comes. And there's a swing at a high fly ball, left field. Reyes out from short. Devers from third. And somehow wins the argument. He makes the catch. So to the 7th we go. Evan Carter his first big league triple, and he scores the go-ahead run. Rangers baseball on Bally Sports is brought to you by Spectrum One. 3 great services working as one. Visit Spectrum.com for details. 6 innings in the books here tonight. 2-1 our score. The two teams have combined for just 9 hits. Been a really well-pitched game to this point. Jordan Montgomery out for the 7th, and the left-hander's first pitch. That's really well placed, but just a little low for a ball to Pablo Reyes.
And as good as Montgomery has been, his last inning may have been his most impressive. He went through the 2, 3, 4 hitters of the Boston Red Sox, a couple of strikeouts, and those 2 strikeouts came on fastballs looking really well located. He stepped up big for the Rangers in that 6th inning, and as he sits at 85 pitches, Bruce Bochy would love to see him do it one more time.
He's gotten Reyes twice so far tonight, and he finds the outside corner. 2-1. Well, body's beginning to move out of that bullpen. Like Chris Stratton might be one of the guys getting up. The 2-1, and this is popped up back of first base. Should be playable for Lowe, and he takes care of it. 1 out of the 7th inning. Well, you look at these 2 starting pitchers tonight. How about these lines through 6 innings? 7 strikeouts each, no walks. I think that part's as significant as any. The hits pretty even as well for the Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Very meaningful game here tonight. Backdoor breaking ball, strike 1 to Trevor Story. Rangers a game and a half back of Houston in the American League West, and the Astros losing right now at home to Baltimore 3-1.
We just showed you Josh Young there, and Emily mentioned it earlier and how unhappy he was when he wasn't playing, and I feel like we're seeing a somewhat animated Josh Young here this evening. Like he is excited to be out there. The ground ball when he threw out Reyes back in the 4th inning, it's the hardest throw he's had from third base all year long. At 86.3 miles an hour, and it looked like he was letting it fly with everything he had, and he just seems extra chatty over there tonight. He is excited to be back and playing, and we're excited to have him.
2-strike pitch, and Story fouls that one away. I thought the Connor Wong ground out of the 5th inning, I thought he kind of reared back on that one a little bit too.
Yeah, I did. That's what got me to go look at it, and I looked at the top of the list, and it was actually one from earlier tonight. Pent-up energy there for Josh Young.
2-strike pitch. Story gets underneath it, high in the air out to left center. Can of corn for Taveras. 2 away. Well, let's check in with Emily.
Well, and if you'll remember regarding Josh Young, this is a guy that was not injured like his entire amateur career. And then I got to, professional baseball and started getting injured. And I remember having the conversation with him, and he said, dude, I haven't had any surgeries other than getting my wisdom teeth out. So I'm not used to this. So he's not used to being, on the shelf, being injured. And so it's taken him some time, to adjust and figure those things out, and learning, how to handle those situations that are kind of out of his control.
Yeah, it's not fun. And especially when you love the game, you're passionate about the game. We were, patiently kind of waiting for the arrival of Josh Young and seeing some of those injuries get in the way. And certainly it has been worth the wait. But nobody likes being hurt. Saw the reaction of Adolis Garcia when he got hurt. He knew what happened when he went in that wall, that it was probably going to be something significant. He was so upset, he started punching the ground.
Two-strike pitch. It's pulled foul. Dahlbeck's been on twice tonight, a base hit and a double. He scored the Red Sox run as well. Josh Winkowski warming up now. Winkowski listening in the Red Sox pen. 0-2 to Dahlbeck, and a swing and a miss. 8th strikeout tonight for Montgomery. He's through 7 innings. Rangers lead 2-1. Here in the 7th inning. This Friday, the first 15,000 fans 18 and older are going to get City Connect themed baseball cards presented by Texas Lottery. You can get those tickets right now at Rangers.com. Very cool giveaway. Huge series against Seattle this weekend. Rangers are into the bullpen now in the 7th inning. Josh Winkowski, the new right-hander.
8 home runs given up in 77 innings for this righty. 77 innings is a pretty impressive number. He does have 1 start under his belt, but that was more in an opener kind of situation. But 55 games, 77 innings, so certainly a multi-inning reliever with a good fastball that sits around 96.
Off the plate with that, I should say, on the outside corner with that cutter.
Oh, that a strike?
It did. It did. I had an opinion, but mine wasn't valued. And now Young goes down looking. Wow. 2 really borderline pitches. Strikeout to start the bottom of the 7th. Garcia coming up. But we move over a moment here for Rally House.
Get ready for kickoff, Texas. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Cowboys sideline gear and the latest college style.
Plate ball 1 to Adolis.
So I wonder here if you're Winkowski and you're paying attention to the game. We know that Josh Young had been more patient. He worked the edges, was able to get him out. Garcia, that was the first pitch that he hadn't swung at tonight. So now he's swung at 6 of 7 pitches that he has seen. And so you know that as a pitcher. And you should be, of course, paying attention and kind of track those things. And that's going to dictate how you attack a hitter. You try to get somebody like this outside of the strike zone.
He just did hold up that time, 2-1. And yeah, so Winkowski, you figure he would be tuned into that, but the guy who absolutely has to be in tune to that is Connor Wong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Wong's got to be. I don't know how much you can communicate via the pitch comm. I don't know if they've got a way outside button, but 2-1. That's close. Good job there by Garcia. 3 balls and a strike. Maybe he was just kind of setting this at bat up all night.
It's been a good adjustment so far. Some borderline pitches that he has laid off of.
There's a strike. Good fastball at 97. It's a full count. Rangers got a run last inning. Evan Carter with a triple. Semien brought him home with an RBI single. A payoff pitch to Garcia. That's outside, ball 4. And Albombi takes the walk. That's a good sign. Cora showing just a little bit of frustration right there. Jonah Heim now coming up. Jonah is 0 for 2. Winkowski's first pitch, and that one nibbles off the inside corner for a strike. So Heim on some fresh legs today after getting the day off yesterday. He's been playing through an injury this year. A strained tendon in his left wrist. Now Corey Seager, who's been playing through that thumb injury. Now Young playing through his injury just back today. Rangers had all those all-stars, 6 all-stars, and 5 of the 6 have been hurt in the second half. The 0-2. There's a swing and a miss. Heim strikes out. 2 away. I'll bring up Leody Taveras. Will Smith getting ready now. So looks like maybe Montgomery would be done after 7. Montgomery was at 95 pitches through 7 innings. There's a big breaking ball that's upstairs. The ball 1 on Leote. Taveras a couple of strikeouts tonight. It's way inside. 2-0. So I mentioned earlier, and now they're in the 6th inning in Houston. Baltimore 3, Astros 1. Rangers leading this game 2-1. Seattle is in Oakland tonight. That game is in the early stages, no score. 2-0 pitch. That's outside. Toronto has tonight off. Toronto, after it looked like the Rangers left them for dead. I mean, they looked like they were absolutely done. The home fans were booing them. Well, they went ahead and swept these Red Sox in Toronto. So they came right back to life, and they, in fact, went past the Rangers in the wild card race. There's ball 4. Never threw a strike to Taveras.
It's interesting with Winkowski. I told you about the innings and the games pitched, and you wonder a little bit if he's starting to run out of gas on the season. He had just 2 outings this year in which he had walked 2 or more hitters. He's now done it in 3 straight outings. But prior to that, the command had been excellent. He walks Garcia, now he walks Taveras.
Well, that gets him a visit. Dave Bush out there. We'll chat things over briefly. Now this is interesting because, you know, Evan Carter coming up had the triple his last time up. Carter, there's not a whole lot of data out there on him at the moment. I say that it certainly is a lot more than, let's say, 10-15 years ago you might have on a guy playing in just 10 major league games. Carter nearly a 300 hitter here early on.
By the way, that triple that he had in this one, now every box filled as far as what you can do offensively. For Evan Carter, it only took him 11 games. You get the double, the homer, the triple, and of course, the stolen base. Got his walks.
2 outfield assists.
Yeah. No caught stealing, which is a good thing. Let's keep that one empty.
1-0 pitch, and that one is in there. And Carter, he'll take the occasional strike. It doesn't seem to fluster him in the least. One of those guys with a very keen sense for what he believes is a hittable pitch, a hittable strike. 1-1, and he fouls that one away. And that's a pretty valuable skill for a young player. For Winkowski, this will be his 20th pitch of the inning. Couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. It's 2 of the 3 true outcomes. And it's 2-2. You know what's left, right? We'll get the 3rd true outcome.
The what?
He's got 2 of the 3 true outcomes
Oh, yeah.
so far this inning. 2-2, and he strikes out Carter. So Winkowski gets through a perilous 7th inning. 8th inning has arrived tonight with the Rangers leading 2-1. But it is time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. Jordan Montgomery, 8 strikeouts tonight. The curveball was working early, but the changeup as well. A lot of off speed today for Jordan Montgomery, who's getting a lot of swings and misses. And a terrific 7 innings from the Rangers left-hander tonight. So give way to Will Smith now in the 8th.
He was excellent tonight. So now the Ranger bullpen, it's up to them to close this thing out. And Will Smith is the first asked to do this. You never like seeing that right there when a guy drops a baseball when they throw it back to him. But so far this season for Will Smith, this will be his 57th game, 54 innings for him, 5 home runs allowed. He's got an even 4 ERA. Good walk rate at under 7% this year for Will Smith. He's got the slider, 4-seam fastball, curveball. He uses that changeup every once in a while, but of course, as we've talked about all year long with him, it has been the slider, the go-to pitch for Will Smith. Just a 119 batting average against his slider.
So he gets the 8th place hitter, Urias, and he starts him off with a backdoor curveball for strike one. I mean, if it was working for Montgomery, it should work for Smith as well. Strike pitch, and that one misses the back foot. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith not an overpowering reliever, despite all of his saves and closing assignments over the years. He's a little bit more about deception. The 1-1, look out.
A fastball there at 92 miles an hour, and it's a pitch for Will Smith that you kind of alluded to it. You disguise it a little bit, went to a breaking ball first. Location becomes really important, trying to go up and in with the fastball in that spot.
There's that breaking ball again, this time a slider. 2-2. Urias drove in the 1 Boston run tonight. That was in the 5th. And he was a little jumpy there, but holds off on a pitch pretty close.
Yeah,
Full count.
Jonah tried to steal that one, and you saw him kind of show some expression there as if he expected that to be called a strike, but it was probably off the plate.
Infield back. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Urias swings and does get a piece of it. So the at-bat continues, and in fact it'll earn him a 7th pitch. Payoff, and this one lined over third but foul. Eighth inning. Montgomery gave the Rangers 7 strong tonight. Can the bullpen finish off a 1-run game? In the dirt, and Urias draws the leadoff walk. We'll bring up Connor Wong. Well, this is where the Rangers have run into some trouble with the bullpen's collective ability in these tight games. Rangers have 27 saves this year as a team. Uh-oh. It's ball 1. Only 2 teams, I believe, in baseball with fewer saves. It's very much a save spot. Wong is 0 for 2. And Smith gets him to foul that one off.
You mentioned the 1-run games, and we saw early on with the Ranger offense just blowing teams out, big leads, and coasting to a lot of victories early on in the season. But the overall numbers, they've struggled here a little bit. A .394 winning percentage in 1-run games, 13 and 20. That is the 3rd lowest rate in baseball. But none of that matters now, right? It's what you do the rest of the way, these final 13 games of the year.
On 1 pitch, that's lined out to left field. That's a base hit for Wong. Urias heading to third base. He's in there. And the Red Sox start the 8th inning with 2 men in scoring position. Just got a little warmer in here.
4-seam fastball from Will Smith here to Connor Wong, and you can see where Jonah's set up. He wants that ball away, and there's just a little bit of cut. The ball came back over the middle of the plate into the barrel of Wong. A guy who was struggling offensively coming into this series, but he got himself that fastball over the middle that he can handle.
All right, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Raffaello, the leadoff man today, 0 for 3. There's activity in that Rangers bullpen. And that first pitch does catch the outside corner. Strike one. Well, Will Smith has been scoreless in 7 of his last 8 appearances. And there's a strike, 0-2. He's going to need to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this 8th inning. Nobody out. A strikeout of Rafaela certainly would help in a big way. The 0-2, and he got him. A strikeout, 1 away.
That's a great job by Will Smith to bear down and execute that slider. Saw an earlier one that was backdoor. This one is down and in off the plate. That's excellent work in a big spot now. Again, still got a pretty big challenge here. The Rangers are going to walk Rafael Devers. And I'd wondered too what they were going to do with the infield alignment. They were actually playing middle back. Nathaniel Lowe was back with nobody out. Runners at second and third. And that would make sense, of course, because you have an opportunity to turn a double play.
Refsnyder's put it on the ground twice today. Once was a double play. That was in the first. And he's grounded into 7 this year. Well, it's Arias at third, Wong at second. Devers, the only left-handed hitter in the lineup, intentionally walked at first. And Smith takes that one right in there for strike one. Brock Burke, another lefty, getting ready. The phone ringing in that pen. Here it comes. And that looked good. That's strike two.
All of a sudden now that slider for Will Smith has been on point. A couple of really well located ones here in this at bat against Refsnyder. You're going to see this one at the very bottom of the strike zone. If Will Smith can find a way to retire Rob Refsnyder without allowing a run to score, that would be huge in this spot.
Little low.
And we mentioned, the ground balls. We've already seen it tonight from Refsnyder. Not necessarily the strength of Will Smith, just a 31% ground ball rate. League average is right around 45%. But he does have 3 double plays behind him.
Chris Stratton has started to loosen the pin as well. 2-2 pitch to Refsnyder inside, and it's a full count.
So this becomes difficult, right? Because we know the slider is the best pitch for Will Smith. You can't be too fine with it because you certainly don't want to walk Rob Refsnyder. He hasn't really offered at it outside of the strike zone either, and so this pitch very likely needs to be in the zone.
Payoff, and this one hit up the middle. That's a base hit. A run is in. Wong into third. They're going to wave him. He scores, and the Red Sox have taken a 3-2 lead in the 8th. Man, oh man.
And you can see Bruce Bochy is pretty frustrated. I'm not sure if he's upset with the pitch selection here. It's a fastball. It's up and in. Refsnyder stays inside the baseball. And you can see him. He barreled it just out of the reach of Marcus Semien. So close. And you see the frustration there as well from Will Smith.
Rangers will make the move. Men on the corners, 1 out, and for the first time trailing tonight. Rangers baseball on Bally Sports is brought to you by Baylor Scott & White Health, changing healthcare for the better, and by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Now, Monday night tonight, and a bad case of the Mondays for this bullpen. Will Smith allows a couple of runs in this 8th inning, but all is not lost. 2 men on. Adam Duvall coming up. Chris Stratton is on here in a very big spot.
60th game of the season for the right-hander, 18th in a Ranger uniform. He's got a 2.45 ERA as a Ranger. He's been really good. 4-seam fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup for Stratton. The fastball's been good, just a 164 batting average against, and it averages 93 miles an hour.
Well, he starts with a slider to Adam Duvall. who's 0 for 3 tonight. It was a leadoff walk, and then Connor Wong with a double. Gave it an ominous feel to this 8th inning. After the strikeout of Rafael Devers walked. And then Refsnyder with 2 strikes delivered the 2-run single. Here's the 1-0. That is on the corner. Fastball there makes it 1-1 on Duvall.
There's a bluff there from Rob Refsnyder over at first base, and wondering about him maybe potentially trying to steal. For the most part, Chris Stratton has done a pretty good job. Just 2 stolen bases against him as a Ranger in his 17 games. So that's a sizable lead for Refsnyder.
In the air right field, Garcia measures it up and makes the catch. Tagging at third, Devers. He'll score. The throw to second almost gets Refsnyder. And I'm not so sure that if that throw doesn't come through just a little further, that is, if Seager stays closer to the play and lets the ball come through, if maybe he's got a shot at it. I don't know.
Yeah, this was close. First of all, this ball carried quite a bit, and more than I think expected when it came off the bat. You're going to see Garcia at the track, and he comes up throwing here. Runner Devers scores easily, but how about this? Yeah, if that throws a little bit more on line, they probably have a shot at getting it.
So 4-2, and now a fastball rides in on Pablo Reyes. Three runs across in the 8th inning. Two and 0. The Rangers scored first tonight. The home run by Semien in the 1st inning. After the Red Sox tied it, the Rangers went in front again in the 6th inning. A Marcus Semien RBI single. Now this has definitely been a tight, low-scoring game. Good pitching, but a 3-run 8th inning now for Boston. Inside 3-1, and that's, man alive, it just seems like we've seen this scenario play out a little too often here recently. At the bottom of the order tonight for Boston. 3-1 pitch, and that's down the right side, foul.
And it's a shame too, because we saw a great outing from Chris Stratton tonight. He stepped up big, especially late in the game. 6th and 7th inning in particular, he was really good. Rangers with their offense certainly will still have an opportunity. First things first, though, for Chris Stratton to go ahead and finish off this inning. Jordan might go.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said Chris Stratton, but it's okay. Yeah.
Well, they came from the same team.
They did. And who knows? Stratton may end up having a big game. I mean, he got the sac fly there from Duvall.
So thank
you're just kind of looking ahead for us. That's all. 3-2 pitch. And lifted to center. Taveras was shallow. Thanks for an easy play, and the inning is done. Huh? Here we go. So heroics hopefully await for the top of the order. Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, and Nathaniel Lowe coming up in a 4-2 game.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rangers now trail it by 2, but Marcus Semien has been an offensive machine tonight for the Rangers. He has driven in both runs, including driving himself in. As we take you back to the 1st inning, the first pitch that Marcus Semien saw, fastball right down the middle, line shot to left field for Semien. And for Marcus, that was his 25th home run of the season. He now has 91 RBIs after the RBI single in the 6th. Garrett Whitlock will take over for the Boston Red Sox. 19 games on the season for him. 10 of those have been starts. He's given up 13 home runs in 66 and 2/3 innings.
I hear you. First pitch strike to Marcus. Rangers looking to fashion a big comeback here late, and there's a ground ball. Third base, Devers fires it across the diamond in time. Semien retired one away.
I had a chance to talk about it, but make no assumptions on ground balls hit to Rafael Devers. 17 errors this year, 5th most in baseball at any position. Interesting conversation regarding him earlier today. You know, Mookie Betts gets traded a couple of years ago. They don't sign Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, others leave. Well, they get a big deal done with Devers. And all of a sudden he becomes the guy, right? He'd been a complimentary player up until this season. And as they go through some changes in Boston, they give him the big contract, and all eyeballs are on Rafael Devers now.
Ground ball, second base. Urias throws out Seager. 2 gone. Yeah, they've made 98 errors as a team. And I believe that the Giants, the only team with more errors. The Giants just the other day went over 100 errors. But that's been a bit of a problem for the Red Sox this year, defense. And those types of things can really rear their heads late in games as Lowe takes off the plate, ball 1. Nathaniel, a hit tonight in 3 tries. And this one on the ground, second base. Good stop by Urias. He'll hop up, throw to first, just in time. Lowe nearly beat it out. A 6-pitch half inning for Whitlock. 9th inning, 4-2.
Game diagnosis, and things got started in a hurry with a Marcus Semien solo home run, his 25th of the year. He also chipped in with an RBI single. That happened in the 6th inning, and the Rangers were leading it 2-1 going into the 8th inning, but that's when they ran into some trouble, and it was the former Ranger Rob Refsnyder with the opposite field base hit, driving in a couple of runs. It ended up being a 3-run inning in the top of the 8th for the Boston Red Sox. They take a 4-2 lead, and that is where we stand now here in the top of the 9th inning. Rangers down by 2.
Stratton deals off the plate for ball 1 to Trevor Story. Story is 0 for 3 tonight. 9th inning, 4-2 our score. Stratton got a couple of outs to finish last inning, and the fire's just a little bit low here. We saw Stratton get up a few times in Cleveland, but did not pitch. I asked Bruce Bochy about that today. I was, part of me, a little concerned that maybe there was something going on with Stratton. Maybe he wasn't quite right. And Boch pointed out, he said, I wanted him to set up. I wanted him setting up to close the game, and we just didn't get there. 2-1 pitch. That's fouled back. And today, he obviously was ready and wanted to have Stratton late in the ball game, but unfortunately couldn't get him in there quickly enough. 3 runs scored, 2 while Will Smith was in there. The next one on the sac fly. And Stratton allowed. And in a blink of an eye, the Red Sox took their first lead of the night in the top of the 8th. Two pitch. And Story lays off it. Story to Irving High School. As a youngster, he was a three-sport star. He was playing quarterback, I think his sophomore year, got hurt. Said, that's enough of that stuff. I'll stick with baseball. And he watches ball 4. Lead man on for the Red Sox. How about a message now from your local Chevrolet dealers?
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains or you can move them. Command your path, conquer the trails, and take on new challenges. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Bobby Dahlbeck, the batter. Pitch is outside, throw down to first. Story dives back in there. Story, he's had limited opportunities this year. He missed so much time recovering from Tommy John surgery. It's the first 112 games of the year, and yet he has 8 steals. That's foul. 1-1. So I'm wise to keep a close eye on him down there at first.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for the Red Sox and kind of how their offseason goes, because of course they expect a fully healthy Trevor Story back. They made some changes in the front office. Chaim Bloom was let go. They're going to need to find a new general manager, but Christian Costas had a really nice year. There's some good things happening, and the Red Sox no doubt want to be contenders again and do it pretty quickly. Don't want to waste the Trevor Story years.
Whoa! The pickoff at first, they got him. The Story took too big a lead. Cora's checking with his video guys upstairs. Yeah, no, they're going to let it go. He was dead to rights.
This is beautifully done by Chris Stratton. Hold, and then throw right on the money. And that tag right on time. As you can see, Trevor Story was leaning a little bit.
This ball lifted deep out to center field. Taveras is back near the wall, and he makes the catch. 2 away. That just missed. And it brings up Luis Urias, who has singled and walked tonight. Martin comes right after him with a fastball up and in. Ball 1. Chris Martin, former Ranger, Arlington native, getting ready in the pen for Boston. Popped up first base side. That one heading foul on a play.
So it took me a while to find it, but for Chris Stratton, that was just the 3rd pickoff of his career, and he hasn't had one since 2019. That would feel pretty good.
Yeah. Big spot, too. Base is empty for Urias. And Stratton just misses low. Ball 2 now in the bottom of the 9th inning. Garver, and then Josh Young and Adolis Garcia, both activated today off the injured list. Wouldn't that be something? Fouled back, 2-2. Could you imagine that? 2 guys making their returns and a chance to play hero in this division race. Final homestand of the year. I mean, it couldn't line it up a whole lot better than that.
You know he's thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
He lives for those moments.
Guarantee you, Bochy's thinking of that. 2-2. A little Tapper foul. $27,375 the paid attendance tonight. A lot of them crammed to those seats out in center field, just to the right of the batter's eye. Stratton trying to get us to the bottom of the 9th. Here it is. That's down low. Urias would not chase. Full count. Right-hander ready again. The payoff pitch, and this ball lined out to left field. That gets down, base hit. Carter will hustle it back in. A 2-out single by Urias, his 2nd hit of the night. Brock Burke been warming out there. In fact, he's been up 3 times. Here comes Bruce Bochy. Well, the man on, 2 out, 9th inning. The Rangers skipper will make yet one more move. Well, you see it. It's a 2-run game, 9th inning. And this is game 1 of this series. Tomorrow, game 2. Same 2 teams, Rangers, Red Sox, 7 o'clock first pitch. We'll have it all for you right here on Bally Sports Southwest. 12 games remain after tonight. I mentioned earlier the Astros were losing at home to Baltimore. They ended up taking a lead. Orioles have come back to tie it 5-5 in the 7th inning.
Brock Burke on for the 51st time this year. That number there is a good one. Just 6 of his 31 inherited runners have scored this season, as is the 9 walks that he's allowed this year. Excellent walk rate this season at 3.7% for Brock Burke.
Runs that one way in on Connor Wong. Wong delivered a big double last inning. That was after the walk to Arias to open the inning with Will Smith out there. And that led to the 3-run rally for Boston. Burke's 1-0. We'll even things up 1-1. Seattle, by the way, in Oakland, Seattle's taken a lead 1-0 now. That game in the 3rd. As I mentioned, Toronto off tonight. One pitch, and Wong scoots off the plate. That one caught the corner, though. Strike 2. Maybe a gracious call from CB Buckner, at least as far as Burke is concerned. He'll take it. One, 2. Wong stays alive. Boy, Jordan Montgomery was great tonight. 7 innings, allowed a run on 5 hits, struck out 8, did not walk a batter. Gave the Rangers exactly what they needed in this return home. The 1-2, and that's fouled away. Will Smith, Chris Stratton, now Brock Burke. Burke just trying to get us to the bottom of the 9th inning. And within striking distance here. 1-2 pitch. Popped up, and that one heads into the seats.
Yeah, Wong was one of the guys that came over in the Mookie Betts trade. There's been a lot talked about that trade this week with Chaim Bloom getting let go, the general manager of the Boston Red Sox after just under 4 years with the organization. Alex Verdugo was in that trade as well. He did okay, not great on that trade, but it was all about kind of moving that money. Wong looks like he's a piece that is going to stick.
1-2, and a swing and a miss. He goes down swinging here to win the 9th. So the Rangers with one last shot in this one tonight. And the setup is great for the returning heroes. Garver, Young, Garcia coming up. Well, there you see it, 4-2 the score, bottom of the 9th inning, and the Rangers with a chance to really delight the fans here with a stirring comeback in the 9th inning if they can pull it off. So Duvall, who started the game in right field, he's now in left. And the new right fielder is Verdugo. Alex Verdugo checks in the game here for defense. And the Arlington native, former Ranger Chris Martin on the mound.
And he is having a huge year in his 53 games with a 1.09 ERA. How about 1 earned run allowed his last 35, just 2 home runs allowed on the season as well. And you can see the 8 walks, 4.2% is the walk rate. He throws a cutter, 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball. And he's got a split and a sweeping slider in the mix as well.
Martin, the 4th pitcher of the night for Boston. Deals with Mitch Garver. Runs that one just a little bit in, ball 1. Garver has faced Martin once before, and Martin won that battle. And won the count. Fastball pretty good there from Martin at 96. I always thought one of the funniest things we learned from Chris Martin when he was in a Rangers uniform was how he had previously pitched for other major league teams, including the Yankees. The 1-1. Ooh. Strike 2. But it wasn't until he put on a Rangers uniform that his friends and folks that he knew growing up around here were like, Oh, wow, you're in the big leagues. He's like, yeah, well, the Yankees are too. You know, some of these other teams that I played for. Time called, and Garver backs out. But I thought that was priceless how, yeah, the Yankees, oh, that's cool. Good for you. I guess a good summer job or whatever. But when he finally signed with the Rangers, it was like, well, now that's big league. Yeah, you got it. But now he's back with one of those other teams, the Boston Red Sox, whatever history they've got. Here's the 1-2. And Garver strikes out to start the night.
97 miles an hour, top of the strike zone here for Chris Martin. It looked like Connor Wong might have been set up down and away, but this one is effective.
All right, so Josh Young missed 37 games with that broken thumb, and he takes inside here, ball 1. We're asking him today about his work this weekend. He got cleared on Thursday medically. He was down in Arizona, and then took swings rather against live pitching on Friday. He said the pain was legitimate on Friday, and he said that's the expectation, is that there would be pain with a broken thumb. And so his feeling is like, it wasn't so bad that I can't do it, so I'll just play through it. He's assured that it won't do any damage, it just won't be comfortable. 1-1, and he hits this one into right field, base hit. Well, that's a huge hit for Josh Young, his first back off the injured list, and it gets the potential tying run to the plate in the 9th.
And he does it on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Chris Martin. You know he's going to be inside the strike zone. And this is a really nice piece of hitting from Josh Young as he goes to the opposite field. And now gives the Rangers an opportunity with the tying run coming to the plate in Adolis Garcia.
Fastball runs right on the inside corner for a strike to Adolis Garcia, one of the best RBI men in the game. 100 RBIs this year, second most in the American League. The guy who won up there. And he fouls it away, 0-2. Tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. Time call, and he'll back out. Garcia has faced Chris Martin once before, and he won that battle. Base hit against him. 2-strike pitch, and he cuts over the top of that one. Strike 3, and there are 2 gone.
This is the split from Chris Martin. We saw Mitch Garver miss on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. This, though, a 90-mile-an-hour split finger below the strike zone. And an 0-2 count. It's a good one. Underneath the hands of Adolis Garcia.
Last hope now. Jonah Heim, and he swings and misses at strike 1. Last strikeout of Garcia, the 12th Rangers strikeout tonight. That's been a bit of an issue, and we've seen that pop up here a couple of times recently. There's a strike called. Martin just does catch the outside corner, and Heim does not like it. And I think the Rangers, to a man, are getting to a point where they're finding some of this hard to believe. A game they appeared to have in hand most of the night. The 0-2. And we'll do it again.
It's a little bit risky there from Chris Martin. He tried to strike out Jonah Heim using that split finger below the zone. There's a good low ball hitter, middle of the plate. It's been really strong for him as well. Top of the zone is where we've seen Jonah struggle at times. That's where Martin went at him early. Good chance he tries to elevate again.
Stays 0-2. Rangers down to their last strike tonight. One big swing by Hyman, we'd have a new game. He's done it before. 17 homers this year. He pulls that one foul again. We'll take a moment here. Frustration starting to run a little high on the Rangers side. The 0-2. That's high. Ball one to Jonah. Red Sox have been a real thorn in the side of the Rangers. Got swept by Toronto. And a tough opponent here tonight, 1-2. That sweep in Toronto allowed the Blue Jays right back in this wild card race while the Rangers struggled in Cleveland. And then the Red Sox roll into town here tonight and create some problems in the 8th inning, a 3-run 8th. Pitch on the way. Heim rolls it left side. Devers will go the short way. They force out Young, and the Rangers see another game slip away in the late innings. And there is some real frustration right now in that dugout. 4-2 the final. We'll be back to wrap it up here in a moment.